it's pretty obvious we're gonna get a Forza Horizon 6. But today I specifically wanted to talk about what I expect to see and also the huge choice that Forza Horizon has to make. Essentially, this could change the path of the game and how the reception of the game goes. And based on the Forza Motorsport reception, I have my bets on one way. So the very first thing that people will want to know is, when will Forza Horizon 6 come out? So we just had the drop of Forza Motorsport 8, or Forza Motorsport the reboot. October 2023 was the release of Forza Motorsport, which is actually a little bit different. However, it seems to be a little bit different depending year to year. For example, Forza Horizon 5, well, that was early November. However, Forza Horizon 4, that was September 2018. 2018? What? So my prediction is going to be quite a wide one, but I'm going to say holiday 2024. However, there is a caveat there. I don't 100% know if we will get it next year. It's all based on the choice they make. What is that choice? Forza Motorsport 8, as we heard, was built supposedly from the ground up.
Built from the ground up.
Built from the ground up.
Or built from the ground up.
Rebuilt from the ground up.
Built from the ground up for this generation.
Whether that's true or not, they made some significant changes. The lighting can be a little bit weird, but ultimately it's early stages. They've supposedly built a new engine. They will improve over time. It's got a lot of fixes to go through, but it is possible and quite likely that they're gonna use that exact same engine for Forza Horizon 6. And this is where I think the choice comes into it. And I think, fuel to the fire, this choice has already been made, we don't know, but the reception of the current game makes me think it may go possibly the other way. The choice is, go with the Forza Motorsport engine and use the new features like the lighting, or stick with the old engine and just take on the more powerful hardware to bump that game up. Now, the reason I think that may actually be the way they go about it, do you remember there was a gap for a while that Forza didn't even add new cars? The hell, they didn't even add new events or anything. The updates were super lackluster and the community was really frustrated. Now, could have been COVID, maybe, but I think the weird resurgence of brand new content, game-changing features like we've shown on this channel, the new Creator 2.0 gives you a massive blank canvas to create absolutely anything on. Why would they do something like that? Such significant changes to the game if they were planning to abandon the whole bloody engine and start again a little bit later. I think during the rocky, obviously, development of the current Forza Motorsport game, a choice has potentially been made to side with the original Horizon engine and just build on it. Think about it. All that new stuff they've made, the stuff that no other game can manage to do in the genre, are they really gonna bin it off? It wouldn't make sense to develop all these tools and then scrap them. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I know exactly how an engine works and they could just bring the stuff across, because maybe they could. But if you look at Need for Speed Unbound, you look at Forza Motorsport, why is everything worse than the previous game? Okay, not everything, obviously the handling has to be redone and things like that. That all makes sense. But I'm talking photo mode, for example. Some of the car sounds have got worse. Again, the progression completely changed. People don't like it, but that's the way it is. We compared it to Forza Motorsport 5 and it has less features than that game, which tells me games in general, to move to a new engine, they do have to get rid of a lot of things other than the cars. Obviously. Advantage, disadvantage. There'll maybe be less of a leap in the next Horizon game, but is there really much of a leap in the Forza Motorsport game other than ray tracing? That, to be honest, I don't really notice that much other than the track. The track looks very nice. Keeping it on the old engine means everything they have built for the last however long since the game has been out will be able to move across and be there at launch. If not rejigged, remodified, like redone in a different way. Generally, what happens with Forza Horizon is they introduce a feature in an update in the old game, and in the new game, it's 2 times better than it was previously. And I don't mean just making the area bigger that you can build on, it's more integrated than it was in Forza Horizon 5, where they added it as an update. So in Forza Horizon 6, if they completely removed it, I would be pissed. It is one of the biggest features about that game, and ultimately it's the only reason I really like, that's the pulling feature for me. They could of course rebuild it, but from what we've seen, it really doesn't have that beautiful look that Horizon has, comparing the two games, as you're going to see throughout this video. The two, it just doesn't line up. Horizon is hit bright and happy, whereas Forza Motorsport is dirty and gritty, and like the art styles are completely, I don't know. We could debate it all day, but ultimately I think they're probably going to stick with the original Horizon engine, the Forza engine that they were on, and just bump it up onto the new hardware, which will give them more headroom to do some crazier things. Now, I don't want to sit here and say things like, oh, the car list is definitely going to have over 500 cars, because we know that. We know that the cars are going to be the same. I guess another potential disconnect, if they did split them, is the cars that they add to the game. Or would it be? Because they've kind of shown that they can bring the cars across. That's less of an issue. Someone please save the Sylvia! An alternate timeline I've heard other people discuss is that they were working on a ground-up game, and then it didn't really go to plan, and they binned it off and just upgraded the old engine, which would explain the dip of no content on Horizon, because they were like, oh, we're doing a new engine, and then all of a sudden they weren't, so it was like back, forth. There's a couple of ways this could have gone. Okay, so one of the most important factors in a Horizon game is the location. Now, the location recently I've not really enjoyed it, and it's been set in the UK, but I don't think it really did the game justice. I think the roads were still super wide, and it just didn't really do the UK that we wanted. It would be really cool to see the UK redone at some point, but I think first off, we need to move on. We need to do somewhere fresh, somewhere new, especially its new hardware. It needs to be somewhere bright and beautiful, because the Crew Motorfest has done Hawaii, and Hawaii, really, it would have been the perfect location, or one of the perfect locations for the next game. I think I speak for the majority of people when I say that I am done with sand. It says that the last game wasn't sand, but like, sand is doing my head in. You've got to do a sand game and then a not a sand game, and then, but I'm gonna say it again. I say it every single year. My prediction is gonna be Dubai. The reason that I always feel like that, it just kind of makes sense for the Forza series. It just gleams Forza Horizon. But I'm going to throw a more realistic expectation out there. I think it's going to be somewhere bright and palm trees and really pretty beaches. I don't know exactly. I want to say somewhere on the European side this time, because it seems like maybe they could go for a European, American, European, maybe. So what if they did like Greece? I'm sorry. That's not. Maybe they will. I don't know. I know everyone wants Japan. I don't see it. I really don't see it. It just doesn't. I don't know. At some point, a game has to do it. I just don't know if Horizon is the one that will do it and people will be happy with it. They could probably really mess it up. Like it'll be like the UK, just with big buildings, like Tokyo, and it's about 3 streets. But new gen. New gen means that you have more power and you can add more buildings. But this potentially is the scary part. Forza Motorsport, as you know, launched with a new progression system, and this new progression system has been debated. That's the kind way of saying it. The thing is, that seems like the Forza Motorsport way to really keep people playing. Now, the way gaming is going, at least on the Xbox side of things, is Game Pass is king, right? Most people aren't buying it. Forza Motorsport didn't even break the top 20 in the launch week in the UK, which is wild, because even the worst performing games generally crack the top 5 or top 10 in their launch week. GTA and Minecraft just sat at the top, like. So it's all about getting you to play. The longer you play, the more money they surely get for updates and providing content to you. To be honest, that's a good thing, because if people actually play Forza Motorsport a lot, well, over time, we'll see this game become a behemoth in the simulate side of things. It's the reason that Forza Horizon 5 has content. New cars just out there. They have got to find a way to hook us and keep us playing. Now, the festival playlist was kind of their tiptoe into that. They had to find a way to monetize the game, and that's the best way, right? Getting people to play longer means that you've clearly made a decent game, at least generally, because they could just, you know, make the progression like Forza Motorsport. I don't think they will. I know for sure there's going to be a significant change in how the game is played. The festival playlist may get a shake-up, And ultimately, I'm hoping and praying the way they do it is by properly integrating the creator into the game. If they do that, and they integrate it as in the festival playlist becomes a bunch of races and they are created by the creators and people just create obstacle courses and events, and there may be a bit a lot, but ultimately there may be like a TikTok style menu or something with all the created events, so every time you go in you just got something new to play. I don't think that's a bad way to do it, but the problem is the big way to do it is by removing content and adding them later. This happens with all service, live service games, and there's a potential that could happen in Horizon. The cars, of course, are a good way to bring people back, but you've got to keep them. Cars are not enough. Due to how the progression has gone with Forza Motorsport, it's not going to be that. It's going to be something. I can't put my finger on it. If they went the test drive route and you drive to dealerships, you have to unlock those cars rather than unlocking the upgrades, that's just with money, I'm not actually going to complain about that. That's kind of what we've been asking for. I think there's a soft way to do it, and locking cars away is a kind of decent move, maybe, but it might scare the Horizon people, but the wheel spin may still be there to kind of get around it. So there's a couple of ways they could do it, and they've got the tools to maybe lightly add in progression to the point where people play the game for longer. So there you go, Forza Horizon 6. We know it's coming, just the question may actually be when, because if they're using the new Forza Motorsport engine, maybe we won't see it for a couple years. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you want to see from Forza Horizon 6? Smash like, subscribe, and check out these!